Hello, happy Sunday morning. I'm going to do day 3 of Advent of Code, which came out last night, but I was asleep when it came out because it comes out at 11 p.m. my time. Um, but now we're going to do it because it's Sunday morning and I have time to do it. So hopefully it goes well. Let's see what the problem is. You and the elf eventually reach a gondola lift station. He says the gondola lift will take you up to the water source, but this is as far as he can bring you. You go inside. So you don't find the gondolas, but it seems to be a problem. They're not moving. You see a slightly greasy elf with a wrench and a look of surprise. Sorry, I wasn't expecting anyone. It's not working. I have to fix it. Engine part seems to be missing, but no one can figure out which one. If you can add up all the part numbers in the engine schematic, it should be easy to work out which part is missing. The engine schematic is a visual representation of the engine. There are lots of numbers and symbols you don't understand, but apparently any number adjacent to a symbol, even diagonally, is a part number and should be included in your sum. Periods, dot, do not count as a symbol. Here's an example engine schematic. In this schematic, two numbers are not part numbers because they are not adjacent to a symbol. 114 top right and 58 middle right. Really numbers adjacent to a symbol. Numbers and symbols, but apparently any number adjacent to a symbol, even diagonally, is a part number. So let's say a symbol is anything that's not a number and not a digit. Of course, what is the sum of all the part numbers? Okay. And so let us start doing this. And so lots of numbers and symbols. Okay, so from typing, this is .text, which is not what I want. I could tell because it wasn't syntax highlighting. My day job, I use a Mac, and so it's the keyboard is different, and it confuses me every time. Okay, so let me copy this. See, hit Control instead of Alt or whatever, and it's actually one of the hugest irritations in my life that Macs and Windows machines or Linux machines have different keyboards. Okay, so a couple things. From typing, import data class and named tuple. Why named tuple? Because that's what I do. And so let's say class xy named tuple x and y, that's right. And then class number data class, and that's not the right way to import data class. So class number has a start, which is a xy, and an end, which is a xy, and a value, which is an int. And then what do we call this thing? A schematic. And schematic is has a bunch of numbers, which is a list of number, and it has a bunch of symbols, which is, that's fine. And it has a part number, def part numbers. It's going to be a list of int, and I'm just going to do that. Actually, no, I'll do number.value if number, number.value for number in numbers if adjacent to symbol self dot adjacent to symbol number. Okay, and this should be self dot numbers. And then finally, so I'm making a lot of assumptions about what the best way to solve this is. Let's just return false. Good. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to parse. That's right. That's fine. Numbers, symbols. That's not what I want to do. I want to use a regex to find the numbers and import RE. And what do I want to do? I'll have to play with this for a second. IPython import RE line equals okay. RE dot search to 9 plus line. What to maybe if I do this, it will capture it. I'm not good at regexes. Okay, I'm gonna have to ask the computer. Python RE capture all matching groups. Find iter. Is that good? Oh, that's good. Okay. So let's say raw numbers rn equals raw numbers 0 rn dot group. Okay, that's good. Rn dot span. So that's 3 to 6. And so line 3 to 6, line 10 to 13. Okay, good. So that I think should do what I want to do. For y, okay. So for match and re dot find iter, that seems right. Is that starts? Yeah. XY match at start minus 1y, that equals that, that's fine. Number depend. Number start and int match group. Okay, so that seems pretty good. So handle numbers, and then let's say handle symbols for X symbol in enumerate line if not symbol is digit and symbol is not a period, symbols xy equals symbol. Okay, that's good. And then my schematic return schematic number 0. And so now let's say schematic equals parse raw, print schematic. All right. So numbers, let's go up and see what these numbers actually look like. Start at 0, 0, end at 2, 0, value equals 4, 6, 7, start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, end at 7, 0, value equals 114, start at 2, 2, end at 3, 2, value equals 35, and so on and so forth. And then the symbols are at x equals 3, y equals 1, there's a star, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that seems reasonable. Adjacent to symbol. Okay. For location in self dot symbols, and here I'm anticipating that they're going to do something right. I'm anticipating that they're going to ask me to do something with the different types of symbols. So that was part of why I stored it as a dict to string, because they tend to do stuff like that. And the other thing I can do is, this is why I use a name tuple, because I can do this. So let me do x low, x high equals number dot start x. Let me do this, nx low, nx high. And then the numbers are all in one horizontal line. So ny equals number dot start y for I. Okay, and so so it has to be adjacent. So it basically needs to be nx low minus 1 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to nx high plus 1, and ny minus 1 is less than or equal to y is less than ny plus 1, return true, and then otherwise return false. Okay, so we're basically saying, our number is in some location, so expand the box around it by 1 on each side, and if the symbol is in that place, then it is adjacent to a symbol. And so let me do this and see if I believe it. Okay. $467, 35, 633, 617, not 58, 592, 755, yes, 60. So that seems right. And what is the sum of x? 4361. Okay. So assert that sum of schematic dot part numbers equals 4361. So let me just run that one more time. Okay, good. And now I have an input to get. So let's get the input. All right, that's big, but it's not that big. So day03.text. Okay, seems good. Okay, with open day03.text as f, schematic equals parse, print sum schematic to part numbers. Okay, let's see if this works. It may or it may not. If it doesn't, then we've got some ugly debugging ahead of us. 550064. That is the right answer. Okay, good. Here finds the missing part. As the end of string's life, you jump in. We found waving the other. You're going so slowly. The missing part was the issue. One of the gears is wrong. And gear is any star symbol that is adjacent to exactly two part numbers. Its gear ratio is the result of multiplying these two numbers together. So I need to find the gear ratio of every gear and add them all up so that the engineer can figure out which gear needs to be replaced. It's going to like there are two gears. First is here. The star adjacent to 617 is not a gear. What is the sum of all the gear ratios? Okay. So, so let's add a helper here and refactor this because we need to pull this out. Adjacent symbol number is adjacent. Okay. So now we'll just say nx low, nx high, and we'll say return this. So it's just the same logic, but I'm going to pull it out into a function that symbol location, and let's say xy equals symbol location, and so that's good. So now we can just change this to return any is adjacent symbol location number in. Okay, so let's rerun that and make sure it still works. 550664. Okay, still works. Good. Okay, so now we want to what is the sum of all the gear ratios? A gear is any symbol that is adjacent to exactly two part numbers. Okay, so gear ratios self again goes to list of int. Okay, so candidate locations is going to be loc for loc symbol and self. Okay, good. I don't know how I need to do that. That's sort of weird. I wonder if it's already trained on people solving this. So these are okay, and let's say output equals this. For loc and candidate locs, adjacent numbers equals n for n in self dot numbers. If is adjacent loc c, that's fine. This is not like super efficient. If len adjacent numbers equals 2, output dot append, and I thought it wanted the products. I see, because I called it gear ratios, so it thought to divide. So that's funny, but okay. And then return output. So now, and I'm looking for the sum of the gear ratios. Okay, so let's say assert sum of schematic.gear ratios equals 467,835. Okay, so let's try that and see if it works. It does work. Okay, good. So let's print sum of schematic.gear ratios. Okay, this is a big number, so let's try it and submit it. That is the right answer. Okay, good. So, yeah, what are the key ideas here? As always, one key idea is data modeling. So recognizing that I want to, I need something to represent a point because that'll make my life easier than tracking the X and Y separately. And that when I have these number objects, because I know I'm going to want to be checking for adjacency to them, I store their value as well as the coordinates of start and end. And I could have stored like X low, X high, and Y, but I didn't for whatever reason. And then we just have this logic for is adjacent, which we just have to read the fine details that says what adjacency means. And then representing a schematic as a bunch of numbers and a bunch of symbols. Part numbers, they just gave us some logic, which we worked out, and adjacent to symbol. And then gear ratios, again, this was where, like I said, I've done this enough years that it's like Chekhov's gun, right? If you, when you see this and you see there's different kinds of symbols, and they're not used in part one, then probably in part two, they're going to use the fact that there's different kinds of symbols somehow. And so it's just a good idea to store them from the start if it's not that much work. And here it was not that much work. We'll just, instead of a set of these XY pairs, we'll just keep a dictionary that returns which one it is. And that way, when we need to find the stars, we already have that information. We just have to iterate over the dictionary, which is not efficient, but it's not that big a dictionary, so who cares? And then just follow the instructions. So yeah, pretty standard advent of code stuff. And yeah, so this is Sunday. Tomorrow's gonna start being Monday, and so I will start having a lot less free time, and so it'll probably be a bit more erratic when I get to do these, but I'll try and keep doing them whenever I can find the time. Awesome. I don't know if anyone was watching, but we can check here and see 6 concurrent viewers. Advent of code all month. Well, most of the month. Adventofcode.com. All right. Yeah, so that's good. Enjoy